You know, in the Civil War, battle was fought. If you watch Ken Burns' Civil War, it's amazing. If you haven't watched it yet, it's an amazing account of the entire Civil War, the ins and outs, the soldiers on the front line, and thus and so. And it goes, and it depicts a lot of the great battles in great detail. However, like a lot of, because they had the narrative, the South had the narrative, and a lot of the war was prosecuted in the South for us to unionize, the United States. We had to prosecute the war in the South. We had to go on soil that a lot of generals, a lot of soldiers just didn't know. But I digress. However, in the Civil War, there's in the Civil War written account, a lot is given to battles of Bull Run, Gettysburg, Petersburg, Chancellorsville, a lot of these places. But it doesn't give a really good, and that's the book I showed you before, a really good account of the Vicksburg campaign, which was a stroke of genius. And why I say that is because Grant, in his wisdom, understood even then, before modern warfare, that if you attack a fortification headlong and it doesn't work, you don't keep attacking that fortification headlong. Okay? Like they did at the Battle of Chancellorsville. Okay? Pope, General Pope did so and lost many men. Okay? We're losing the fight out there protesting. We're not only losing the fight with our own people, which is extremely important. We're scaring the working stiffs. Have you seen the polls lately? And I told you this in the beginning. Grant shored up his line of supplies. He shored up his flanks. Okay? He went down below the city of Vicksburg and attacked it, kept a frontal brigade in front, went down the river, and came up from behind and fought major battles from the other side of the river, eventually raced towards Vicksburg and had it surrounded, and then from there on it was just a matter of time. It was a siege. And we're not doing that. We keep ramming like they did in the Civil War at Chancellorsville. We keep ramming it with these protests. We're not shoring up our flanks. We're not shoring up our line of supplies. And what is our flanks? Our flanks are making sure that we have these voting places open. Making sure that we talk to our neighbors. Okay? And tell them, hey, we protested, we marched on Washington too, and everything else, and our so-called leaders, which, like I said, aren't any leaders of mine, we did all of that. But look at the polls. You know what I mean? And that white girl that you was protesting with out there, if she feels threatened, you can be sure Trump's going to be back in office. Okay? She don't feel safe like she did when Obama was in there, when us brothers was in office. Because, sadly enough, and like I say, I always bring out the truth, Biden looks weak. He's starting to lose that luster. Okay? He's starting to look like a puppet himself. Okay? And Kamala Harris, white women ain't ready for no black woman to be in office. Heck, they wasn't ready for Hillary Clinton. They're definitely not going to be ready for no black woman. if they think she's the major part of the power, if it's too far to the left. And I've talked about this before, okay? And it looks like I sound like a broken record. You're not going to get anything from them. You know what I'm saying? If you're starting to feel a little jittery and a little afraid, that's because you haven't shored up your neighborhood, like I told you 2 months ago. You're not prosecuting this second civil war correctly. And I'm here to tell you, we're losing people under 50, which is a big part of the Obama coalition. See? And so, you know what I mean? When you start, and they're picking away at it because Trump is like, I'm law and order. Hey, if people think they can walk out here, if they think they can walk outside their house and are safe and think they can have some money in their pocket and feed their families, they'll elect a dictator. I'm telling you now, they'll elect a dictator. They won't have no problem putting him back in there. Because see, once again, it's the money, stupid. Look at the stock market. It's growing. The white mugs watch that. You know what I mean? The independent white man, you know what he cares about? Not having to wake up the next morning with anything on his mind except I need to go out here and make some money. Okay? If he think that's threatened, you mugs that are extreme to the left, you ass out. That's it. Biden ain't gonna win. I'm telling you now. And you will have to go through 4 more years of this. Except he'll be settled into his spot. Yes. Politics, the president, those people were supposed to represent our interest. What's best for the things that we hold dear. But he has to do it for the larger population, the general population. And mostly the general population is white at this point. And, like I said, the younger coalition, if it feels like nothing's going to change, they ain't going to come out either. Okay? Obama represented change, but he also represented the general population. Okay? Most of us, as a statistician, I'm here to tell you, most of us live in the bell curve. Okay? In the middle of that bell curve. Most of us aren't racist. Most white folks don't hate black folks. That's small, and it's always been this way. It's just that's these smaller outliers, okay, speak the loudest. They talk the loudest. They get on TV. MSNBC is too far to the left. Fox is too far to the right. Right, left, okay? And these outliers speak the loudest. Okay? They cry the fiercest. You know what I mean? They make each other's, each side makes the other look like they're not human. When we in the bell curve, for the most of the general population, I got 2 sons. Okay? And this is just an example. I understand. I understand what it means to be a black man and all of that. Okay. All right, I understand that. But here's the thing. When I walk outside my door, and I know that if I did my work in my neighborhood, and I know that police officer, I don't give a damn about what the hell's going on in them protests. Okay? I'm serious. You know what I mean? I care about when that shutoff notice comes. If I got a job, okay, that's important to me. You know what I mean? And as long as that police officer knows my sons and I know him, and I can give my son a second or two about that, that's all I care about. This is an example that I'm talking to you about that most of us live in. You know what I mean? The white, as I told you before, they're not going to give up power. You got to give them a good reason to give up some of their power. Being out there and on the streets, burning shit down, okay, burning down stores and this, that, and the other, letting mugs infiltrate your protest that's from out of town, and you know what I mean, all they care about is trying to get paid. You know what I mean? That's not going to cut it. Mugs is going to look at this and be like, heck, I'd rather the police be out here in force than these niggas. I'm telling you, that's what they thinking. And if you don't learn how to think that way, if you don't know how to go inside and as I told you in my law and order videos with my suit on, if you don't understand that you need to go in there and learn the law, pick it apart piece by piece, if you don't understand that you need to go down there and find out who your local police department is, gain local power in your community, if you don't understand that you have to go to your neighbors and tell your neighbor that I love in these predominantly black neighborhoods, that we need to stop these gang violence. We need to stop having these people come in our neighborhoods and stop calling the cops every time we get mad at each other. If we don't know how to talk to each other and keep our community safe for the most part on our own, and only call the cops when needed and make sure that it's a cop that looks like us, if we don't do these kind of intricate things that require our study, that require our reason, that require our understanding of the environment that we're in and how we can change it, if we don't understand all of that, like I said before, we're going to be right back here and there's going to be more brothers on the street dying. I'm telling you. You're not listening to me. I don't want you to follow. I want you to listen to my reasoning. This is reasoning. This is the truth. Okay? Nobody wants Johnston from the Southern Army people, guys like this, and statues of, white men that fought for slavery. Nobody wants that. My thing is that existed, and if it helps us to remember not to do that again, put a brother up there from the 54th. You know what I mean? Put a soldier up there next to a Confederate soldier. You know what I mean? And say, this who won this battle. That's what we have to do. And until we do those kind of things, realize what kind of fight, what kind of war this is. As I told you before, we have to hit it from difference of angles. Until we do that, we're never going to get equality. You are never going to get that knee off of your neck. Your neck. Because it's not on mine. My time, I'm old. My time's soon going to be up. I'm telling you now. And the few that are watching, you need to tell somebody.